Okay, today I am going to explain something really weird, and it's been happening lately. After changing a lot of stuff, and it still didn't succeed. Believe it or not, it's just the coil wire. I'm gonna explain a little bit what happened. My dad drive back and forth to work, and anytime temperature gets really hot, the car just shuts down without telling you anything. And the code on that, I'm gonna list it right here, and it says that is the ignition module, control module. But I've changed that. I've changed it. I put extra paste on it. I even got 2 new ones. That didn't solve it. So then I changed the coil, thinking that it might be the coil. Okay, that didn't work either. Old part or new part. So I thought it was getting too hot. This was actually in here. That's the original spot. So I thought it was too hot. So I said to myself, okay, let me move it to save the hotness from there. And that didn't work either. So I said, okay, what the hell could be wrong? So I got mad. I took the ignition coil wire out, as you can see, and I put actually electrical wire. If you notice right here, that's just electrical wire. I believe that's the one of the cable that came from over here somewhere from another car. I believe that's a 10 gauge wire. So I put that on, and we drove yesterday. Actually, I put that on, but I put another 18 gauge. The 18 gauge starting to shut down. Once it got hot, it's starting to shut down. So then I took this wire that I made before, because somehow it seems like it's taking the battery too much. Like the battery light would come on. So I put this in, and boom, it worked again. We were on the road again. It was really hot yesterday, and we'll be back on the road again. So I said, what the hell is going on? Why it's doing that? And I think it's the cable itself. So if you were having like hot and cold, like if your engine gets hot and it shuts down and it tells you this code, it's actually not that code there. It's actually the wire itself, the ignition cable, the one that feeds the power to the distributor. That's the wire. So but the only thing I have issue now, if anybody knows, is that if I have this wire in, the truck works even when it's really hot. But I hear clicking in here, and also too is the battery, the battery indicator in the truck there. It pops up and on. But if you go like over 2,000 RPM, like 1,500 RPM, then it stops. And then we tried to charge this battery. It didn't work either. It says that the battery is full. So it could be the battery as well. I'm not sure yet, but I probably update on the video here. But as far as I know, when it shuts down and it shuts off, it's here. It's not the alternator, because I have a meter and I actually measure the alternator. The alternator is putting out 15.4, like 15.4. So I know for a fact that's a-okay. Other than that, that's about it on this video. But like I said, if you find this video and you have experienced the same problem, that it shuts off only when it's heat up, and then if your battery light blink on and off, check this cable. Check your ignition coil cable, I guess, that goes from the coil to your distributor. because that's what my case was. And like I said, right now I tried a 10 gauge. I'm sorry, I tried 24 gauge wire. That didn't do too well. The engine was really weak, you can tell. Then I tried 18 gauge wire, a single strand 18 gauge wire, and that got to us to a certain point. Once it got hot, that's when the car's starting to die, like it feels like it's starting to die. So then we stopped, and I put this wire back. Once I put this wire back, boom, the car went start right away, and we're back on the road again. But like I said, somehow, I don't know if it's sucking too much power, it's giving the battery indicator in the truck, it lights up. But if you go over 1500 RPM, then the lighter shuts down. So it's like it fluctuates back and forth, but the car don't die. So that's another thing too. But anyway, so if you find this video and you see all that problem, and it's still, I've changed everything, and it still hasn't, even like the distributor cap, I clean all that, spark plugs, I clean all that, I checked all the wire, blah 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 blah, all any other stuff. The only thing I did not was that, and that was the culprit. Then I decided, I cut the wire out, and then I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna make my own, see what happens. I'm gonna put so much power in there that it can't. Because if you open one of these up, it's really weird. It's like a little tiny coil wire. I don't know how they expect that little wire to supply all that power to here. But anyway, that was the culprit. So the main culprit for this was the wire.